Oh shit, we're live, yo.
What's going on, everybody?
What is going on, everybody? Okay, we're gonna wait until some viewers show up because right now I just see zero. Or hold on a second. Can I actually go to the YouTube page and
Yes.
then I can, right?
Yeah, you can.
I just gotta shut off the volume so the feedback doesn't come through, right?
Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh wait, I think we might have linked people preemptively.
Link two.
When we put the links in rooms and shit, I think we might have linked people preemptively.
Oh yeah, I did. I just wanna wait until some people start to show
All
up.
right, let me. Okay.
So yes, leave this page.
Wait,
Okay,
there we go.
there we go. There we go. And hmm, this is showing up. Funny. The chat doesn't.
Refresh for you.
The chat doesn't come up for me.
Let's see what's going.
Live control. What's this?
Yeah, the chat isn't coming up for me. Hold on. The chat's underneath the video, which is weird because the chat's usually on the side. I can't even see the number of people who are the number isn't even there. What the fuck is going on? Oh my god, what is happening right now?
What? Okay. What is happening?
Yeah, it's like seriously, I don't. Why isn't there no? Oh, here we go. We got one watcher right now.
Oh, we got one viewer. Hey, what's up, yo?
Exactly. Hello, one viewer. All right, let me see. There we go. I'm gonna repost this link here.
Oh, now we got four. Oh shit.
Yeah, like people are. I guess
Yeah,
people
that's what I was
finally
saying.
realize
Like,
that
give
shit
people
actually.
time. Give people time. Like we just started. How
Four.
y'all doing? Can any of you guys comment? Did I? Let me
Let me
see.
see. It should be. Well, yeah, it says. Let me see comments. Okay, it should. We should be able to see comments now. Okay, wait. I think it's updating slowly for me.
Oh, okay. It might be up. It might be going a bit slow for me too.
All
Now
right.
it's saying that we just have one. What is it with you people?
Where the hell are y'all? Like we had more people earlier. Let's see. That one viewer is Sammy. Sammy is the one viewer.
Sammy, what up, yo?
Yo, we appreciate and cherish you deeply, Sammy.
Oh, man,
We
we
probably should have
we
had this a little.
appreciate you, man.
Maybe we should have did this a little later because I don't even think a lot of people are around.
People aren't around. What the hell else they're doing? Why else? What else do they have to do that's better than watching us shoot the shit? Like
Uh, Taxes. There you go.
taxes?
That's all I can think about.
Fuck out of here. How, Sway?
What's going on,
Q&A.
everybody? Again, once again.
Oh, the feature is disabled. Fine.
It's the chat feature still disabled. Shit.
Well, the Q&A is disabled, but let me see. Let me go back.
All right.
Um, yeah, it looks like no chat pops up when I go to the YouTube page.
Well, I think I really hate Google. I really do. I really hate G Plus. Not Google so much as I hate G Plus. Like holy shit.
Yeah, like it's weird, but like I feel like if we I feel like if I did like the hangout on air, um then maybe it might have given us a comment section.
That's what I thought too. Actually, let me see.
Yeah, I get the feeling that that might be the better option, and if it is, it's gonna make me mad because we love we love the interaction with people who are commenting. So, but
Exactly. That gives us more shit to talk about too.
yeah,
More like things to talk. More people to talk with. So now we got two whole viewers.
yeah.
Thankfully.
So basically, yeah, guys, like I wonder if we should just start over,
What do you mean? What do you want to do?
or see if there's like, um, see what happens if it's a hangout on air instead of just a broadcast. I don't know.
Uh, Either or worked for me, really. But since we're here, I guess we could just like push on through.
Okay, I guess we could just push on through then. All right, so then let me just let's carry on, and let me just make sure that people know we're live.
All right. If you
So
know we're live,
please come watch us.
that would be awesome if you came and watch us, cause like shit's going down.
Yeah, that would be great. And there we go. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so let's see. So what is first on the docket for us to talk about? Oh yeah, bye week um just passed.
For people who
Was
do not
last. So I know I was mostly retweeting stuff about it.
For people who do not know what bi week is, it is where we as bisexual people have orgies, massive, massive orgies in the
And
streets.
we convert all your boyfriends and girlfriends.
Exactly. We convert all the straight people
We
and
go
all
out
the
and
people.
we
Exactly.
challenge, we change all the straight people from straight to bisexual.
Exactly. And
That's what
then
we do.
we hunt down the gays and make them bisexual as well.
That's right, because we all know how much the gays don't like the bisexuals.
Which is just sad and odd, but
It's sad and it's weird. I remember like I was on Twitter and the conversation was going on in regards to, why lesbians take issues with, with bi women or sort of, don't really date a lot of bisexual women. And I just couldn't understand it. Like, oh my God, because, I like vagina. I don't like penis. And you like penis. So just
that's
keep penis
icky.
away from me. Penis is icky, so just keep it away from me. And then some real there's
They're
also
just
some real personal fuckery going on. Like for some lesbians, like if their woman cheated with another woman, oh, they would be hurt, but they wouldn't be half as hurt if their woman cheats with like another man with a man. Like, oh my god.
then you've committed some sort of sin.
Yeah,
Oh,
like you've committed like the ultimate sin.
what really?
I just don't understand it. Like cheating is cheating to me, no matter who the person cheats with. So, houseway.
What's really bullshit about that is that as bi people, we have to say we're gay if we like talk to another gay person or try and have a relationship with them. Because like whether you're a man or a woman, if somebody who is gay, if somebody who is gay that you're trying to like talk to or flirt with knows that you're bi, they just shut down.
Yeah, and it
Which is
really
weird because like I can tell straight people that I'm bisexual and they're just like, oh, well, sub straight people anyway.
like, oh, okay. So what's that like?
And like I can tell some straight people that I'm bisexual and they don't say shit, but like when I tell some gay people that I'm bi, it's like, get away from me. You disgusting.
Or you're not really bi, right?
Yeah,
You're
like
just come
confused.
on, you're just biding time because you're in Georgia and your family's probably really, really religious and would disown you. So you give them some hope that yes, I still like women, which means that I'll one day knock up a woman and we'll have some kids and continue our line and blah 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 blah.
Or
And it's
like
just like, what?
or what do they tell us? We're confused. Because
Yeah,
that's it. We're confused and it's a phase.
yeah, it's just a phase, pick a side. Hello, goodbye.
Like we have to like we're in some sort of war where like if
You
you like
have to pick a side.
you
And it's
can't
like,
like penis and vagina, that's confusing.
yeah, you can't do that. And then it's like sometimes I think it also comes down to um because when you start getting into, the range of bisexuality and everything, then you start to realize that that sexuality is not a static thing. It's not just, it doesn't just, like, oh, if you're gay and you're gay forever, and it's more fluid, and sometimes I think it's more of a political it becomes more of a political thing.
Yeah, they think we're a threat. I think some of them see us as a threat to the cause or whatever, because that lends credence to the idea that sexuality is a choice.
Yeah,
I think
and
that's
I can understand it, but at the same time it's like the majority of people who helped start off the rights movement were bisexuals. Like, and even like there's this couple that gets a lot of that got a lot of press for getting married, and it's a same sex couple with two women. They got married, and one of them is named Robin Ox, Ochs. But this is the thing that people don't know, or people like, or sometimes people who report about them, they omit that both those women are bisexual.
all right. Because yeah, it's like people can't handle the idea that bisexuality exists.
So if they can't handle that, then they sure as hell can't handle like fucking pansexuals.
Because like
And
the
it's like it's in a way I get it, because we're human. We want our lives to be as simple as possible, but the real world really isn't like that. So, and what makes and the thing is that like you 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 get angry when straight people are very black and white in terms of sexuality. You want more straight people who are homophobic, right? You
yeah.
want those people to understand that sexuality is not a static thing, that there aren't just straight people. So why would you enact the same sort of cognitive dissonance when it comes to bisexuals,
I feel like
or or even at a and at one point transsexual and trans folk, and all the different other types of gender, bigender, trigender, agender, you know,
I,
uh, intersex folks, asexual folks, like
I feel like when it comes to I feel like when it comes to some gay people and bisexuality, that like they have the sort of same reaction maybe that some straight folk will have when they see someone who's gay or hear about that idea. Like it's just so alien to them that you could want to have a physical relationship with a man and a woman, or either or.
yeah, and also sometimes they forget that even bisexuals have preferences, like
Yeah.
and then also when it comes to that, it's almost like we have to prove how queer we are. So like, oh, so like with me, like remember that article I sent you about? It was an opinion of this person who wrote this article online and put themselves as anonymous, because of course they don't want to expose themselves to the backlash of their dumbass opinion, right?
Yeah.
So she basically stated that for a bisexual woman, if she doesn't date enough men, or if she doesn't date enough women, then she can't call herself queer. And she's like, oh yes, I know that I'm not the arbiter of what makes someone a queer person, but fuck all that. Every time I see her and she's in a relationship, every time we talk about relationships and stuff, she's always with men, and I've never seen her in a relationship with a woman. Therefore, she can't, in my eyes, she can't claim that she's queer. And I'm just like, what?
I,
Demanding that we prove
you know
how queer we are, and it's like, who the fuck are you?
what I hate about that type of mentality is that I feel like it's somewhat toxic and infectious, because like sometimes I feel like that, like maybe I'm not meeting my like woman or man quota for
Quota,
gays.
for being
Yeah.
and I used to feel that way too, because for a long time I was hetero identified. I was always curious about girls, but I never really, prior to now, I never had a relationship with girls or with women, and never had and hadn't had sexual experiences with women. And
Yeah.
I felt weird. I felt like wrong and weird about, wanting to kiss girls and wanting to hug on girls and be on girls and everything. So I just like threw it in the back of my head. I was like, no, I'm just strictly dickly, da 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 da, because we're stupid and we all buy into the whole, gay as an insult thing when we're kids and everything. It's very homophobic, very misogynistic. So, it's only when you're an adult and you start to really look at those things and really deconstruct those things. And it's like, you know what? This is all bullshit.
It is because you realize finally that I don't really have to like I can like whoever the fuck I want at whatever pace that I want. I don't have to like meet some sort of fucking quota.
Yeah. And no one is the arbiter of what makes someone more queer than another queer person. So, and anyone who acts that way,
Yeah,
I could just tell them to kiss the entire, you know, dark side of my ass.
because I've mostly only really I think I've only gone out with like two dudes actually in my life so far. That was Christian for a little bit, and then Lundy. That's it. I've never really gone out with like any other dudes besides those two, because most of the relationships I've been in with were all female. They were all with girls and shit. And so like at first I felt kind of like maybe I'm not really bi because I've only ever dated women, but then I'm like no, I don't. I'm
Yeah,
my own
and then
person.
yeah, and then you'll start thinking of a guy. You'll see a picture of a guy, of a model or somebody, and they're in a certain type of pose, or
I want to
they
hit
just
that.
have underwear on, and it's like I wanna fuck you.
I
So
want to fuck you ragged, my friend.
I wanna stick it in you deep. I wanna let you feel my meat. I wanna
Exactly. I want to fuck you. I want to feel you while you're feeling me, man.
I wanna fuck you like an animal.
Exactly. So yeah,
Yeah. So exactly. So there we have it. Like
our
you're
tangents are
okay.
fun.
Even
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like, man, since I'm in a long distance relationship, I'm like, man, I haven't really, motorboated some titties in a while. Maybe I'm not as queer as, I think I am.
And then you see some
And then
titties.
like Amber Rose puts out, some pictures of, at an event that she's in or some shit like that. And I'm just like, I want to motorboat her titties.
And then I'm like, you know what? Yes, I see a nice pair of tits, and I'm like,
Oh,
yes, I am in fact bisexual.
yes,
Yes, yes, I am.
I am in fact queer as fuck now. So
I will say there is one fun part to that because, like, when somebody thinks they have your sexuality identified, you're like, oh, that person is gay, or oh, that woman is, gay or straight. And
mhm.
then, like, they see you with, like, something of the opposite sex, and then they see, like, holy shit, I'm so confused. Are you gay or are you
What
straight?
are you gay or straight? That
It's
happened to me once. Like someone was about to like say like on a live game stream like, oh yeah, Jasmine's with a girl now, so I didn't know she was a lesbian. Not that I wouldn't, being a if I were a lesbian, like I'd be fine with it. I mean, like, so
but you know, yeah,
fine, but it's just that's not a label I've identified with in
yeah,
life.
same here.
So but it's okay, like oh, you lesbian, since and plus since I'm a feminist, so
Like,
whole type of niggas are quick to call me gay. It's
Like,
like
you silly lesbian, you just want to touch another woman's vagina.
and it's like yeah, actually I do. So and even if I wasn't, I'd be like, oh my god, it's like, oh, like you could have called me any number of like bitches and hoes, but you just decided to call me a lesbian or a dyke, which that's more of a pejorative slur. And it's like, oh my god, you just called me gay. What am I gonna do?
I'm so immature. I remember once a long ass fucking time ago when I was watching Scarface, and then some like senator was talking about sticking his finger in a dike or something, and it was like the context was completely different.
Yeah, the context was completely different, but of course our minds
I'm so
go
fucking
to
childish.
our minds go to, dark and childish places. So I'm gonna stick my finger in the dike. Wait a minute. What?
I get it. I'm supposed to be an adult, but sometimes I don't fucking want to be. That's fucking hilarious. He said he
Yeah,
wanted to.
sometimes I feel like being a 34-year-old kid, and you will let me be that kid.
Exactly. Like I don't like. You know what? Sometimes I want to laugh because I think he actually said he wanted to stick his finger in the night. There you go. Which is which is fucked up.
Oh, well, are you in the chat? You're like, Sammy and Crowd, you're like, actually, the one viewer is me. We love you guys. Thank you for supporting
We
us.
we do. We okay. I can't even see the chat. It's still disabled for me. Then
Yeah,
again,
the chat's still disabled for me, so I don't really care. So I'm just gonna go off of, I'm just looking at the Google Hangout screen right now, so
wait,
it's okay, hon.
wait.
But anyway, thankfully, bye week happened last week, and it was pretty fun. And I retweeted a lot of tweets from like BiNet USA and by Women of Color, because I follow a good amount of
The by Twitters.
bisexual Twitter accounts and bi people on Twitter, and it's really good because just because of everything we've been talking about so far, obviously, there's still a major problem with bi people being stigmatized and ostracized in the LGBT community, and it's like it's 2015, and we should really start to work to get past this. And when it comes to discourse for helping LGBT folk, kids and LGBT kids and teens and adults, it really doesn't won't do anymore to erase bi folk from things like mental health and things like that. So
Yeah.
here's the hoping for that.
Sometimes I do feel like there are people within the community, unfortunately, who do want to erase us out of it. Like they want to just get rid of that, like that be there, because like that doesn't belong here.
Yeah, it makes no sense. And what also doesn't make any sense was fucking Kim Davis.
Okay, I need to know about this because you told me about this, but like I believe the video was
Oh,
taken
Kim
down.
Davis was the clerk from, I'm thinking, Missouri. Shit, she was the county clerk who wouldn't let marriage licenses for
Right,
sex couples go through, and
right.
they
That's
actually
her.
put her ass in jail for a couple of days, but then she got released. Yeah, she was the one who was like, I can't do this because it goes against my religious beliefs. So then it became discussion about
The right to a
the right to religious, yeah, my freedom of religion. And it's like, yes, you have freedom of religion. You are free to practice whatever religion you choose. And the government is not going to, enact any laws or pass any legislation stating that there is a specific religion that you must adhere to. But when it comes to doing your job, that's separate.
I like how
People really don't get the separation of church and state, especially when it comes to whether or not you can, when it comes down to actually doing your job.
so like a few
So,
things about that.
huh?
A few things about that. One,
Yeah.
I'd like to make a comment. I'm sorry to interrupt, but this was thought was forming in my head. I like how the freedom of religion comes at the expense of other people.
Yeah, that's pretty much
And
what happened.
I completely forgot. Like I knew who Kim Davis. I knew what the whole Kim Davis was about. I just forgot what her name was for some reason.
Ah,
Ooh. I also like how people like her have how she was a Democrat, and apparently she's no longer a Democrat because other Democrats didn't like defend her. and it's our job as Democrats to defend her right to basically be a bigot.
What?
Yes, she was
Bitch.
a Democrat, and she's angry that other Democrats didn't defend her. That to me is insane. Are you serious?
Oh my god. So she's basically like fucking Senator Reuben Davis over here in the New York State Senate. He's a Democrat, but he's a social democrat, and he's against same sex marriage and shit like that. So oh my god, it's rare. Excuse me, it's rare when I find out about Democrats who are bigoted in that way. But when I do find them, it's like oh my god, it's sort of those. It's like they're definitely in the same class as like black libertarians and shit. So
Ah, I can't stand black libertarians. Like, holy shit. Because they like to separate themselves. I am not like those dirty people.
yeah, like
Ah,
I am not like those other darkies who just want free stuff.
like, I don't like welfare. It's for poor people and lazy people. Like, okay.
Yeah, like oh, all right, fine, sure,
All right.
okay.
Also, Jazzy, I have
Mhm.
posted a link in the chat. There you go.
Oh, in our chat,
Yes, in our personal chat, in our
in
Google chat,
our personal
in
chat,
our Hangout chat here that we're
in
doing
our
in
hangout
the group
chat.
here. Yes.
Woo woo woo.
You should see what it says.
Okay.
You'll see it group chat. There we go. And this in the Google Hangout right here.
I am in fact by. Oh, well, I mean, I've this is not really that surprising to me because yes, I am was ugh, oh god, I have no words. I completely lost my words looking at that picture you sent me. But yes, seeing that isn't really surprising, especially given how many hentai magazines I used to get. Oh yeah. So yeah, we're definitely bi. So
Yeah.
it's okay. But yeah, fuck Kim Davis and everything she stands for. I can't stand her.
Why
Bitch, should I
are we
fire her?
obligated to?
And I hate that she was elected to her position, so she can't get fired.
We're obligated to defend her?
Yeah, like oh, like it's almost like it's like the dumb argument that some atheists make, like oh we have to stick together, blah 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 blah,
Glass houses.
and we can't critique anybody when they basically like oh well not let's not do any infighting because it just divides us or whatever. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. If someone is fucking up, they need to be called on it. I don't give a fuck who they are, and we have way too many examples of mainstream atheists who believe in some pretty repugnant things. And
But
their
if,
ideas need to be critiqued and deconstructed. And they need to be let known that they're fucking up.
but if we critique each other, Jazzy, that's dividing the house, and we look weak in front of the fucking Christians. Like what? Like we're in some sort of war or something.
Yeah, like we're at war with Christians and shit like that. And it's like the majority of people in this country and of voting age are Christians. So who else do you think got Barack Obama voted? It wasn't just non-believers because we're like we're not that big of a percentage
Yeah.
country. So it's like you have to think about these things.
Instead of always making it into some sort of war against people who are religious. Like we don't have to worry about them attacking us. It's okay to
Yeah,
be
like
friends with believers.
yeah, it's totally okay. Like I follow so many believers on Twitter who are the most intelligent, funny, and most beautiful people that I've ever been around. And like I wouldn't trade being around them for any other experience with atheists that I've had. like in the world. Like seriously. And don't get me wrong, like I've been around some kick ass, non believers, black mostly. And
Thank you.
and that's also another thing. Like it's also, it just feels so, sometimes people are like, oh, it's too bad that, that the best experiences that you've had with atheists are when we're around atheists who are like you, black atheists and shit. And it's like, because we all pretty much, we don't have the exact same lives, but we definitely have a number of experiences that we share, that we have in common. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just, it is what it is, but yeah, when it comes to this Kim Davis thing, it was definitely not about religious liberty. It was definitely about this one person thinking that she can push dictates of her religion onto other people, which last I checked is why the colonies fought against King George. Like they didn't want dictates of a religion to be forced on them in any way, shape, or form. Not just, and especially within, legislation and shit. So it's like, she was basically like pulling a King George, if you want to think about it.
And it's funny because she's so, I think she seems to be the most angry at, like I said before, a bunch of times before, like at other Democrats, because we're supposed to like help her, but
Yeah, apparently we're supposed to like stick
what
together.
party do you think you're in?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because I'm registered Democrat, but
Where
sorry, Kim Davis, you're a bigot.
yeah,
You
like
you
our
fucked up.
a Democratic president, Obama, said that like he endorsed gay marriage. So what do you think the rest of the party is going to say to you?
Yeah, like that's part of like the liberal. That goes hand in hand with the liberal platform
Yeah,
currently.
I mean that's
So,
exactly that's the
so
leader of our party. Yeah, exactly. Obama is the leader of our party currently.
yeah.
So
So I
what do
mean,
you think we're gonna say?
and so I mean, do you, honey? Like, if you feel that you have to follow your conscience, and your religion tells you feel personally that your faith tells you that you can't let gay people get married, then that's on you. And also, the thing about it is that not every Christian believes that their faith tells them to disenfranchise, to keep people from, if they want to marry someone of the same sex, that they can't. Not every
Exactly.
Christian
Yeah.
believes as you and practices their faith as you do. So, and also don't forget there are LGBT folks who are Christian. So
Oh, but and they don't count.
these things don't seem to really come into a person's mind, but
What
bigot's gonna bigot.
bigot's gonna bigot. So
And I tell you something, if her name were Trayshonda Davis and not Kim Davis, I think
it would have
that
been, yeah.
it would have been worse, and I think they would have tried to find some loophole within legislation to get her out of her position. And Rand Paul would not have come to her defense.
Oh no, they wouldn't have given a shit. Like Rand Paul wouldn't have given a shit.
Rand Paul wouldn't have given even a chip of shit.
It's just like, and I like how a lot of libertarians, especially black libertarians, like to hold up Rand Paul as like he's who we should strive to be. Yes, we should strive to be Rand Paul. Like,
Yeah, this paragon of just liberty and the Fourth Amendment and shit like that. And it's like, and people did the same thing with Ron Paul too. With some black people did the same thing with Ron Paul because of his thoughts on, because of his position on the war on drugs and shit like that. And it's like, yeah, that's nice.
and also,
He also doesn't really like you guys as
and here's one thing about that which they'll never point out to you. he says that's for certain states, not on like a federal level anyway. So he doesn't really care if certain states don't want that to happen.
Oops.
So like, yeah, you can get behind Ron Paul or whatever, but what if you're in a state that doesn't want drugs? I mean, that doesn't want to legalize marijuana. Like Ron
What
Paul's not
you
going to help you. He's not going to help you because that's not his position. Like states should have power. Also, I mean, there's a lot of other fucked up shit he believes, but let's not bring that up.
Yeah. Mike Huckabee, baby. Oh, let's not talk about him and how he's like. Let's not get into the fuckery of Mike Huckabee. Let's not do that because we'd be talking on here for like way too long. Like, oh yeah, well, same sex marriage is, he tried to compare it to like the Dred Scott decision. So well, so basically, like, yes, so basically you still believe that excuse me, not blacks, I don't ever say blacks, but black people aren't citizens under the law, even though the Supreme Court overruled that, decision.
The thing I find weird about
Thanks,
that,
Mike Huckabee.
the thing I find weird about that is that like, don't these people have like a team of like people dedicated to making them not look stupid and racist?
I thought so too, but apparently, I guess only lawyers have, their paralegals to make sure that they don't look stupid in court. Apparently, some of these politicians don't have the equivalent of a paralegal working for them to make sure that they don't say stupid things.
That would explain Donald Trump then.
Or maybe they do have them, but those assistants are just as stupid as they are, so they're actually really incompetent.
Because like that has to explain Donald Trump because no one would allow Mike Huckabee or Trump to say these things if they were like, competent.
At the same time, remember, Donald Trump really doesn't. I think even if Donald had someone on his team, I think with just his ego alone and in thinking that he's never, thinking that he is never wrong about the things that he says, I don't think he would have someone like that on his team. And if he did, I'd be surprised if they still had a job. I think they would be fired as soon as as soon as the first time they're like, actually, Mr. Trump, that's not correct. You're fired.
Yeah, you know what? You might. Yeah, that actually might be the point.
Yeah, I seriously don't think that, because you can't have anyone on there, saying shit that is counter to the narrative that they want to push. You know what I mean? Can't have anybody who's not, can't have anyone who, if you're not a team player, then you can't be here.
So I was thinking about something. I was thinking about what if. I guess the only kind of answer I've come up with in my head is that like they don't care if he says things like that because black people are not his base.
Oh, they don't care.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't really matter. And even with the Conservative Party trying to, some of them trying to, bring in more African American voters, but then the candidates who want to be the nominee go out and just say these really stupid things like Jeb Bush. Did you hear about that?
Oh no, what happened?
How he was out uh, at a rally, and he was just like, he basically pulled a Mitt Romney when he was like, oh yeah, we're not gonna offer free stuff over here. And it's like, are you kidding me? Like,
Stuff.
yeah, exactly. He pulled the Mitt Romney, like, oh yeah, black people, they vote, Democrats, Democrats, offer free stuff, because people think they're entitled to, health care and, and jobs and homes, and, they think they're just entitled to all these things. Yeah, he basically pulled a Mitt Romney, and it's like, you fucking spoiled rich kid crack a motherfucker. Like, you come from a very powerful political family. And your family has money, you have money, and you have political power. Like, you wouldn't be where you are now if not for your family name
And
and fucking money. And we all know fucking, W would not have fucking been president if not for his name. He wouldn't have even he was governor of Texas at one point, right?
yeah,
He wouldn't have even been governor of Texas at one point if not for his fucking name.
and you have the
And
dude.
plus he went to you have never he's never had to deal with like public services. He went to private schools, he went to fucking private institutions for college, but yet thinks that he knows enough to like to say anything to us, to people who have to who aren't as privileged financially
I
as
feel,
he is.
I feel like what he wanted to say was, if he could just, the uncensored version of what he would say was, well, niggers and spicks can have a free ride over here. Can't have a free ride over here like the Democrats. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
that was pretty PC
But
of
you
me,
know,
but
motherfuckers are not gonna really say that. It's like political suicide, and that's and like I said, that's why I cannot be a politician because I would just be calling people fucking stupid, like you fucking moron.
yeah, like seriously, really, like
Yeah,
that's what I ultimately feel like he wanted to say. He wanted to just say like, these people are lazy and they just want to be taken care of, but Republicans don't want to take care of you. We want you to work, and we expect you to work for everything you do, because
yeah,
that's
and it's
all we
like what the fuck have you ever really had to work for, Jeb Bush? And plus, like, your record with black people isn't really great because while you were governor of Florida, you enacted the stand your ground legislation and tried to fucking disenfranchise and enacted, voter ID legislation and shit to disenfranchise, a lot of voters from, voting in the last presidential election. So, oh yeah, here we go. Jeb Bush says hope not free stuff will draw black voters. And this was in South Carolina on Thursday.
hope not for. It's
Yes,
nice to know
with
that
a message of hope and aspiration and not with promises of free stuff.
he has such a high opinion of us as black people.
Mm-hmm.
So what free stuff? Like, this shit isn't free. Like, you have to be. It's like they ignore all of the other shit that's required. Like, for one thing, you can't just get welfare. Like, I want welfare. These are things that have prerequisites and
Yeah,
requirements to
like
them.
this shit is not. Yeah, people act like getting public assistance is easy. It's not fucking easy at all, and especially like when it comes to us, like the whole that the man in the house law was struck down by like the Supreme Court like years ago, but for a really, really long time still, and like even in the 80s and shit, like when it came to black people, when black mothers trying to get on public assistance, it was pretty much, it might as well have been like that law was pretty much still in effect when it came to like eligibility for public assistance benefits. So, like, this shit is not easy. And also, welfare reform wasn't great because it just basically meant that more single mothers were struggling and they couldn't find work, or even if they found work it was mostly lower paying jobs. So, and they still needed public assistance to supplement their income.
Well,
And they needed to supplement their income, and you want them to find work, but they can't find work that, and when they make if they make a little if they start making much more money, but still not enough to feed their families. If they make a little bit more than like the requirements, then they can't be on public assistance. And then they still end up being poor because, and plus, remember, when it comes to the wage gap, black women make less than white women, black men, and white men. So it's like,
Like, why it's in the pay wage gap is interesting because white men, so I believe white men make, I think, the most outside of Asian men. White women, make less than white men. Black men and Hispanic men make less than white women, and black women and Hispanic women make less than all of the than previously.
mhm.
And Asian women, I think, make more than white women, black men, Hispanic men, and everyone else. Oh, and Asian men, I think, make the most. But Asian men making the most is, I think, yeah, and Asian men make the most, I believe. It's like a weird, like, hierarchy of, like, of, like, getting shit on in terms of, like, pay.
Yeah, which I mean, yeah, it's weird because some people like, oh, well, Asians are a bit higher on there because, of course, if we're going by like the bell curve and everything. But even that is like an insult to Asians in themselves because it's like, oh, they're harmless. They're the model.
Well,
Yeah, they're the
yeah,
model minority and shit. And it's like, ooh,
I really do feel that's a really huge slap in the face to Asians because
yeah,
Asian men are seen as like harmless, just like nerdy and almost like just sexless.
yeah, pretty
Like,
much.
I just seen as like these just sexless robots that are just really good at math and have no talents beyond that. And it's just such a what it's just like such like a slap in the fucking face.
Yeah,
And then you have everyone else who has the more negative, uglier stereotypes attached to them.
yeah.
I've not read the bell curve. I feel like it's something that I should read at least once in my life, but I feel like it would probably piss me off if I did.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
All right, hold on. How much of our time have we eaten up? Because we like
It's 4:19.
so not that much actually.
Yes, yeah, it hasn't been that much. So
Okay,
okay,
stop.
so what else did we want to talk about? Okay, so let's just talk quickly about I didn't watch the Emmys, but I was watching like people live tweeting it and everything, and Viola Davis won the best actress Emmy for How to Get Away with Murder, which is on Netflix, by the way, and people should watch it. It is a good show, and she made a good speech when she quoted Harriet Tubman, and she said that the only thing standing between women of color and everyone else is opportunity, and that we can't play roles that aren't there. And it's true. And that's why diversity still matters.
A lot.
And that's what makes, what Matt Damon said even more. That just makes
Uh,
it just
Damon
look like an
splaining.
ass.
There we go. We're going with Damon splaining territory. Here we go.
Yeah, yeah, because it's just like, you know, like I said in my video, I was actually waiting to see if Matt Damon was going to make the quota argument. You know how some white people are like, oh, quotas, and when some white people
Yeah, criticize
take
diversity.
affirmative action, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but like, oh, they just want us to meet quotas, and they don't care about actual talent or ability. While completely ignoring the fucking point. But
Yeah, like and like I said, when it comes to the character of the person, and if you take historical perspectives into mind, then you understand why the lady was concerned about about how the character Harmony is written. And you can also, see more now why some people really took what Matt, really got upset with what Matt Damon said. And it's like,
All right, for
if you
those
want,
who
because it's like, because if you want diversity in film, then why would you not want diversity when you pick people to make the movie? And especially on why would you not want diversity in the casting of your show? Like, how is it that those two, that you don't make the connection between those two? You know what I mean?
here's something interesting. Like, okay, so for people who aren't who may not have heard what Matt Damon said, we should probably tell them what happened.
Okay, so basically on the show Project Greenlight, that's actually a good thing. If you haven't heard, on the show Project Greenlight on HBO, where Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, they hold this contest where they want to select a director to direct the film that they give him or her, whatever. So they gave the director, the winner is this white guy, they gave him a script to direct. So it wasn't the director's, it's not his own movie. He didn't, write it or anything like that.
Yeah,
He was given a script, which they noted that he did not like immediately, right? So one of the producers on the show is a black woman. She's produced a lot of movies, including the movie Dear White People. So, she was expressing concerns about how the character of Harmony, who is a black woman and is the only black character in the movie, she was expressing concern on how Harmony would be portrayed, especially given that, again, she's the only black character in the movie, and she's also a sex worker, aka a prostitute,
yeah.
who has a white pimp and everything. So
I just
Matt
find it
Damon was
weird.
basically like, well, the writers, the people who wrote it, you know, they were the last word on it. So, meh, whatever. I'm just gonna go by what they think. And when you talk about diversity, it's about, the casting. You do it in the casting of the film, not in the casting of the show. And it was like, what? And he was like, well, do you want the best person? Do you want the best person for the job or something like that? He was basically making a merit argument, basically on this belief that the best person should get the job. And it's like, yes, ideally the best person for the job should get it, but when's the last we don't society still does not operate on that. They operate on pushing that belief, but in reality they really don't do it.
Yeah, we don't have like some weird merit system
Yeah, we
set up.
don't. Yeah, we don't live in a meritocracy. I'm sorry to burst anybody's bubbles, but we don't.
And it's just bizarre to me that he wouldn't find it a little weird that they've gone that no one in this cast is of any other ethnicity but white, and yet there's like a black prostitute woman. Like, I don't
Yeah, there's only
understand how.
there's only and not and I think not it's not just with the casting of the movie, with how the movie was cast. Like I said, the black woman, the producer, I think her name's Effie Brown. Effie Brown, she was basically, like I said, just expressing concern on how this black character was going to be written and portrayed and directed, because you know there's a white director for the movie and the writers are white. So she's worried that they don't have the perspective to really bring out things in the character. And that's perfectly understandable because there are perspectives that that white people are just not going to have when it comes to black people, and if they don't actively go out and seek that knowledge out, then they're just not going to have it. And that's not a mean thing to say. That's not like a racially insensitive thing to say or to point out. That just is what it is.
Yeah, there
If
are.
there are experiences that people are not going to have or understand, and not saying that that after it's that's something that once you explain it that they don't understand it. In that I mean understand it in as in have the particular mindset of someone who has experienced it and has the knowledge of what that is like, what an experience is like. You know what I mean? So sometimes you're not going to have um, that level of knowledge or that level of empathy because you haven't been through something. And that's okay. But sometimes, a lot of white people will take that as like an insult to their intelligence. Oh, so you're just saying that I'm dumb and I can't understand. No,
No.
and it's like saying that lay people can't fully understand the scientific method or some shit like that. Of course you
But,
can, but if you're not a scientist, there's a big possibility that there's some things that you may not get.
like, there, I'll use an example of say I write for two couples, like two women who are in a in a relationship, I guess a lesbian relationship,
Right,
and their characters. I'm not a woman and I'm not a lesbian, so I don't know the intricacies and nuances of a relationship like that. I
right.
mean, I can only create kind of like general sort of personalities for these characters. But when it comes to like the nuances that go into these types of relationships and the character dynamics, I have to ask and I have to get input, or else I'm gonna make characters that don't really seem like actual people. I mean, they
Yeah,
might be good characters.
they're going to be they're going to be one dimensional, or in the worst case fucking stereotypical. and,
Exactly.
and yeah, and when it comes, especially when it comes to you have a black character, you have a black sex worker with a white pimp who you're trying to fix up with this other white dude, and they're going to fall in love or something like that. And if you don't get the nuances of what it's meant for black women who have been doing that, and the experiences that they have thanks to race and gender, if you don't get the nuances of that, then it's going to turn out to be horrible. And that's why I had to let people know that it's not, that no one's saying that white people can't write black characters or people of color characters, or that white directors can't, direct, you know, people of color or black people or whatever. Like Steven Spielberg directed The Color Purple, and that was a primarily black cast. There are plenty of comic book writers who write, superb people of color characters. Like I mentioned Brian K. Vaughan because he created Why the Last Man. And he created this black character. Her name was Agent 355. It's one of my favorite characters. So it's like no one is saying that, white people can't do these things. It's just often some go into writing these things without enough
Mhm.
background knowledge, and sometimes they rely on things people think is common knowledge, but then they turn out to be more or less stereotypical tropes, you
Exactly.
know
What?
and that's all. And then just from that one concern that Effie had, then it became, this big thing about, this big argument about fucking, merit based hiring for the show, and like I said, Effie was just expressing concern about, about this character. and then Matt Damon just turns it into like an argument for like the best people to, write the script and
Uh,
direct the movie and shit like that. And it's just like, oh my god,
it-
like you just we were at this level and then you just took it like to the fucking stratosphere.
And I feel like he did that mainly out of like some childish ass defense like reaction. He's like, "Oh, they're criticizing me," Like, and I don't necessarily think he was trying to be an asshole so much
Yeah,
as he
yeah. I
just
don't
went
think
with
he was
this
trying to be an
like
asshole.
juvenile bullshit where he's like, "Oh
Yeah,
yeah, well I know what I'm talking about, so fuck you," like
yeah,
that
yeah.
type of
It was
shit.
that. It was definitely that white fragility shit because because he's liberal. He's married to a Latina. He's married to a woman of color and blah blah blah. And I know about diversity. So how are you coming up in here? Are you questioning? Are you coming up in here questioning? My commitment to diversity and shit like that. And it's like, yes, because just because you're liberal and you do care about this thing, the learning doesn't stop after you claim to be about these things or claim to be like a certain label or something like that. And I think that's something that people don't get, deconstructing, implicit biases and things like that is an ongoing process. It's not something that just stops just because you say, I'm a liberal or I'm a progressive or I'm anti-racist. Like it doesn't stop, you know?
Like,
So it's like, dude, you are on some definitely, yeah, you're on some white fragility shit right now, and I don't have time for it.
and
And
the
neither does anybody else. Like, get your fragile ass the fuck out of here. And I think that is just another showing that just shows, because I personally don't think that he's really been challenged like that. And I think
I don't know,
that
you can
and I
tell
think and I think that there's still a good number of white people who who haven't been challenged like that. And when they are challenged like that, they get very uncomfortable, and it's like they get very fragile. And you see in his mannerisms and in his behavior how he kept talking over Effie while she was trying to make points. He needed the equilibrium of the atmosphere fell out of his favor, so he needed to get it back. He needed to get that equilibrium back because he felt very racially uncomfortable with the subject, and that's symptomatic of white fragility. And side note, look that paper up, guys. Google white fragility. It was an article by Robin DiAngelo. It's very good. It explains the concept, and let me tell you something. It applies to so many people that I've had, less than favorable interactions with in regards to race. Like, you don't even know.
like
I think
when
I cut you off. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
like when Exile was like, "Oh my God, you called me a cracker." I
Oh my
was like,
God, you
"Yes, it
called me a lion. Oh my God, you called me a lion ass cracker
Oh
bitch.
my God.
I don't give a goddamn.
I got so much shit. Like Brian J got pissed off at me for laughing at that too.
Oh, real? He did.
Yeah, he
Oh yeah,
got
because
pissed off
they talk to you and they know that you talk to me. So, oh my God, how could you say that?
Oh yeah,
Really?
like Brian J got pissed off at me for saying that shit because we're saying I thought it was funny. That shit was hilarious though. Oh my God, but
That
like,
is true. I don't have time for fragile white people when it comes to really deconstructing race and shit. I don't have the time. I no longer have the time or the desire to deal with that. If that's what you're going through, that's on you. That's on you to deal with. I'm gonna be over here. And a lot of people, sadly, on YouTube suffer from that. Besides Exile, Grey Knight, Thunderfoot, Gary Edwards,
unfortunately,
Sargon,
I gotta,
pretty much,
you know,
pretty much the usual suspects of anti-feminism, white atheists, motherfuckers. We all
like
suffer from that.
You know what annoys me now? I gotta clear out my history because I got fucking Thunderfoot shit all up in my history now.
Yeah. I don't have I don't have him in my history, but sometimes if I'm watching something about Anita Sarkeesian or if I'm watching one of her videos, his videos pop up on the sidebar as recommended for me,
Oh
and
my
I'm just
god.
like, no.
Sorry about that. Hold on. Let me mute. Someone is calling me, and this is loud. Let me. Oh my god.
Oh wow,
Oh my
Gina,
god. I can't. How do I mute this? Okay.
who that? Counts had to mute his mic, folks, because someone is ringing him on the phone, and we're probably gonna have to stop soon because I think we did our hour. Um, which is fucked up because I also wanted to get into, Ben Carson being fucking Islamophobic as fuck with that whole, oh, I wouldn't vote for a presidential candidate who's Muslim and shit like that. And it's like, dude, there are Muslims who serve in, as local politicians and shit who are in the Senate. Like I could think of, I think his name is Keith Elliott, Keith Ellenson, and there's also people that I know who are heavily involved in politics who are Muslim as well. And it's like it's one of those things where like this is where this is where I get mad at the whole Islam is not a race
Argument.
argument thing because like duh, Islam is not a race, but you can racialize a religion depending on who your target is. And most times, and even if you put Muslim in like a fucking Google search, you're gonna come up with a picture of a brown person,
It's like
not of
it's.
not of a black person who practices Islam, not of like even the small patch of Chinese women who are Muslims, or even white people who are Muslims, because yes, there are white people who are Muslims. So thanks to 9/11, the religion of Islam has been racialized for a while now, more than a decade. So when Ben Affleck went apeshit at Bill Maher and saying that the things that he was saying were racist, it's true. Because Bill Maher is not, when Bill Maher says dumb shit like the shit that he said about, not standing with Ahmed Muhammad,
Oh yeah, that
well,
shit pissed me
the
off.
kid who, reassembled the clock and stuff, he was like, oh yeah, because most young, in general, young Muslims blow shit up. And it's like, what?
Yeah, that really pissed me the fuck off too, because it's like he's like, oh yeah, Ahmed should not. He said something along the lines of Ahmed shouldn't have been. Someone, an adult should tell him it was wrong for them to fucking arrest you, but our religion is violent, and people in our
Yeah,
religion
so
have
basically, yeah,
lost,
guilt by
and we
association.
deserve what happened to you.
Yeah, basically putting in the, pushing the guilt by association
You
fallacy.
should
Like, yeah, you should have been arrested, but your daddy
it's
should have told you that because of your religion,
and because of your race.
and because most of the people who've done these bad, heinous things practice your religion. You should know that you should know these things. And it's like, what? That's like, and if we're gonna apply that logic to like Christianity, then then every white person should go to every other white person who's Christian and be like, yeah, well, this shouldn't have happened to you guys. Like, hey, white person who was in the building when the FBI building when Timothy McVeigh blew it up. You're Christian, right? Yeah, so this definitely shouldn't have happened to you, but someone should have told you that, your religion, people who really practice your religion are responsible for domestic terrorism in the States and everything. So,
I mean, it's
your
kind
mama
of
should have told you. And
it,
it's like, Bill, shut the fuck up.
It's kind of expected, especially if you're Irish, you know? I mean, the whole IRA and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yes, you're Irish and you're Catholic, so you should really just expect to deal with, going through more security so that they make sure that, that you're not a member of the IRA and then you have to be put on a no-fly list or some shit.
You're probably dangerous. I'm just saying.
Because you might could be a dangerous and crazy motherfucker. You might could be on some Whitey Bulger shit, and we just don't want to take that chance.
You brown people do have a tendency to blow up. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
you brown people have a tendency to blow shit up. So, we have to check under your niqab and your jihad and all this other shit. What are you talking about? I am not Muslim. I am Sikh. Oh, we still gotta check your shit anyway.
What's a Sikh? That's how I feel like people would react to that. What's a Sikh? All we
Yeah, like
know is like
I am
what
Sikh.
Bill O'Reilly tells us.
I don't know what it is, but let's just check under that, big ass head thing he got under his head on his head anyway. Make sure he's not hiding any bombs and shit.
Yeah, because we just want to make sure that you aren't, dangerous.
We just want to make sure that you're not gonna blow us up.
But they would never. I feel like they'll never be that blatant to say it. Although honestly, I mean, what's his fucking name? Mara was pretty close to saying that.
Yeah, well, I mean, he did fucking say it. He was like, "Well, someone should have told you because majority of young Muslims blow shit up." He didn't mince words. He was
That's
very
true. Actually, he
he
didn't.
was very fucking blatant with his shit. And then to turn it on, and then for him and for fucking this guy, he's the owner of a basketball team or whatever, was like, oh yeah, what happened to you was what happened to the kid was fucked up, but but he should have told somebody, what he had or whatever. So he made everybody suspicious. Da, 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 da. Like, oh, Jasmine, you shouldn't have been, arrested and whatnot. But you shouldn't have, acted out when the police wanted to search your hoodie and da 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 da. And it's like talking out of both sides of your mouth. It's like, it's like giving a backhanded compliment. Like, no, 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 no. Don't say but, because nothing good comes after it.
I mean, honestly,
nothing but fuckery could come after the but. So just stop there.
Honestly, like just say what you mean. Just
or
say
just, or please just say what you really mean. Like, please just say it.
I remember
pull up Ben Carson and just say it.
Oh yeah, because that's what Ben Carson does, right? He's like the Gentile black man.
He's the Gentile black man who says like the dumbest things, and then blames you for holding him accountable for all the dumb things.
He's like your token, like non-threatening, proper black who say fucked up shit, but he says it in a really nice way, and he apologizes.
Yeah, exactly. He'll say it in a really nice way that he thinks that, he says that he would consider religion as probable cause for searches. Yes. He told ABC News this week that he, quote, would certainly be willing to listen to somebody argue that the religion of Middle Eastern refugees should be considered probable cause for searches or wiretaps. And, of course, he told Chuck Todd last week that he would not advocate that we put a Muslim in charge of the nation. And which we all know, contradict the Constitution. And we all know that Ben Carson, how much Ben Carson is saying that, oh, well, it's against the Constitution. It would be against the Constitution. It contradicts the Constitution. Well, we all know that Ben Carson, I thought you were a neurosurgeon, so that meant that you sort of knew how to read. But apparently either you don't know how to read or you just haven't read the Constitution, because there is something in there that says no religious test shall be put on anyone. So
unless you're Muslim.
Oh yeah, but it says unless you're Muslim. See the fine print over here?
Exactly, unless you're Muslim. There you go. That is so fucking stupid. Like, I can't stand Ben Carson, man. I can't.
That makes
He's he Ben Carson. I feel like Ben Carson is everything that I feel like Ben Carson is everything that's wrong with like the GOP, the Republicans' interaction with like you know black people in general and shit. That they want us to be this person,
Oh
this
yeah,
like
they want
this
us to be him.
servile.
They want us to be Alan West. Like they're just, it's just bad.
They want us to be Alan West. They want us to be Alan Keys. They just want us to be like the servile, like clueless fucking moron.
Yeah, like if you don't love America, then you need to get the hell out of America.
And like whenever, I bet you when like Tamir Rice, the little 12-year-old black boy who got shot like
Yeah,
2 seconds within the police pull it up, people like fucking Carson are just like, well, he was probably going to like rob somebody or be a rapist anyway. So never mind. Like, just some shit like that. So
yeah.
I can't I can't
That's
do
what the GOP really want. That's why Jeb Bush says the things that he says, like, oh, we're not going to give away free stuff, although he's pretty much had free rides because of his family's wealth and political power.
Although to be fair, if you notice, he did say African Americans won't get free stuff, not people who aren't African American. So maybe if you're white, you're all right. There you go.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. As long as you're rich and white. Oh, you want tax breaks? It's all right.
And it's funny too, because like tax breaks and tax cuts and shit, those aren't paid for. Like no one pays for those. So that's money that doesn't. That's money that that the state is spending, and that's not being used to pay for anything and shit. So
Yeah, we're basically paying so that these motherfuckers don't have to pay anything.
pretty much.
Yep, that's what I call it. That's some real welfare right there. It's corporate welfare.
Like I just I don't know.
And also all the loopholes in the tax code that allow them to stash their earnings offshore.
Don't bring that up, or else I'll look bad.
Oh, whoops. Oops. Was I not supposed to say that? Oh boy. They're gonna put me on a terrorist list. Plus, I got this big afro wig on, so, you know.
I'm loving the big afro week. That should be your thing for the end of the month. For round up, just
Yeah,
like
I think this is gonna be it. At first, I thought I was gonna put on like a different wig, but the afro's gonna be it.
when Jazzy puts the afro on, shit's got real.
That's right. It's gonna be showtime, motherfuckers. Oh boy. Okay, so it's 4:49. So we gotta end this. But the last comments that I want to say, if anyone in the tri-state area, New York, if any of you guys are going to be going to Comic Con, I will be going to Comic Con as well. I will be mostly checking out panels because I did my show planner the other day and it's 13 pages. But yes, if anyone active on YouTube is going to New York Comic Con next month, which is the 8th, is October 8th through the 11th, I will be there. I will mostly be chilling when I'm not at panels. I will be chilling at the booth for the Women in Comics NYC International. And I'm going to check what booth that is now. Give me 1 second. Here we go. I think no, that's not it. But basically, I'm going to be at the Women in Comics booth. It's going to be run by Regine Sawyer, and there's going to be some other people there. There'll be vendors there selling their books. There will also be cookies and stuff. So you definitely want to stop by if I can find it.
It's like, why the fuck would you miss out on free cookies? Like,
Yeah, why in the heck would you ever want to miss out on free cookies? Like,
got comic
It's
books, you got cookies. It's like being
yeah,
at like
you're gonna get comic books, you're gonna get cookies, you're gonna get cool merchandise, you're gonna get to talk to the creators. Here we go. Women in Comics NYC and Lock It Down Productions. They're gonna be at booth 243. And if you want to catch me when I'm not, like I said, running between panels and stuff like that, I'll be chilling there. And also, Lock It Down Productions, they produce some pretty good stuff. The comic Eating Vampires is a good one. The art's done by Delia Gable, who also does the art for this really good LGBT comic called Dash. It's a period piece. It's set in LA in the 1940s. Um, this private eye, this gay, it centers on the adventures of this gay private eye Dash. And the art, and Delia Gable does the art. Again, it's very, very good. It's written by David Ebersole. He's such a good writer. I think issue 4 comes out in November. Definitely be on the lookout for that. It's from Northwest Press. It's one of the leading LGBT publishing houses. They put out a bunch. They put out lots of comics and things. So yeah, there's that.
we need more
Also,
independent
Super
publishers
Week is
anyway.
going to be going on the week of Comic Con. Also, so you guys should definitely check that out if you have the chance. Um, Also, if you didn't know that if you're a fan of Xeno Warrior Princess and you didn't know that it was on Netflix, well, now you know. So definitely go and get your binge watch on because that's what I did yesterday. Also, Hercules: The Legendary Journeys is on Netflix as well. Um,
You know who I liked? This sounds fucked up, but I liked the Sovereign. I don't know. I thought that personality was cool.
but yes, I understand. So if you have Netflix, dude, definitely go and watch that episode since you like it, apparently.
Also, like the chick that was like the new Sovereign that replaced him, like the I forgot the black. I forgot what the black. She was portrayed by a black actress. She's cool as shit.
Gina Torres.
Yeah, she was fucking cool as
She's
shit.
awesome. She's going to be at Comic Con too, and I will definitely be looking for her to get her autograph because she's going to be there because there's going to be a panel for Firefly, the show, the Firefly
Oh,
reunion. So she's going to be there, and Nathan Fillion's going to be there signing autographs. So that's going to be awesome. I can't wait. I'm just going to nerd the fuck out. I can't wait. So okay, so that's pretty much it for this month's end of the month wrap up. Subscribe to Callens because
yeah.
when he does make videos, they're pretty good. Whether he's talking, no matter what he's talking about, or if he just like uploads, videos for when he's playing like League and stuff.
What the hold
Um,
on? What is animal metamorphism? Hello, Sister Foxy. The institution of marriage must be destroyed. All political parties must be destroyed. P.S. There are no smart believers on Twitter. Anarchy now. What?
oh my god, yeah, that is funny.
That's amazing. Oh my god.
Oh, and don't get me started on marriage. I get the feeling that we may have to do like a broadcast in the middle of the week, just talking about marriage in light of me watching this documentary called Divorce Corp. Oh no, marriage, no thanks, because like you basically, especially like, because if you are going to get divorced, like you basically give up your soul and the souls of all the children you will never have. Because it takes like 3 to 5 minutes to get married, but then it can take you up to 6 years to get divorced because fucking family court lawyers can charge you like at minimum 600 an hour and shit. And don't get me started on like when it comes to child support because apparently family court is not under the constitution like criminal court is. So, ooh,
Child support is a motherfucking pain.
oof, oof. If you haven't seen the documentary Divorce Corp, that's on Netflix as well.
I feel like
Watch
we should
that.
have a
Have your
secondary.
get your eyes open, and like if you still want to marry something, still want to marry someone,
Marry my cat. He's
think about it.
like,
Think about it seriously because like 50% of all marriages, especially in the States, end in divorce. So it's like,
I feel like we should have at some point have like a secondary show or something because like there are a lot of topics that like there's a lot of there's a lot of like topics I feel that kind of need to be talked about, but there's only so much time. So at some point we need to go over.
yeah. And maybe we can make that one 2 hours. Like there's stuff that I definitely want to talk about. I want to talk about catcalling. I want to talk about um we definitely should talk about, toxic masculinity and stuff, especially, oh God, especially since the hashtag masculinity is so fragile came out. Oh my God. So we might have to do a second show, like, sometime in the week
All right.
and get into that because when I tell you that like men were like in their fifis about it, honey, they were in their fifis about it and just saying and just tweeting the most asinine shit. And
Uh,
I actually have a story to tell about that. So I think we may do another show like what?
well, we can have like we can alternate like every month we'll talk about like geek stuff, and then one month we'll talk about like all these topics that we never get a chance to express.
Yeah, I think that's good. Or maybe like on a Saturday we should do like an after dark shit. And then we could like you could ridicule people on FetLife and I can, I could,
I
and I
haven't
could
done
shame
that
you
in
for
so
that.
long.
I can wag my finger at you for trying to shame people on FetLife. We could talk about polyamory and non-monogamy and how people think that they're fit for non-monogamy, but they're really not.
Oh yeah, like so many people don't realize what goes into in a relationship. When you have an open relationship, there's so much that I feel like people don't understand
Yeah, they
when it
they just
comes to
think,
that.
oh yes, oh yeah. So you mean I could keep my wife, or I could keep my girlfriend, and I could just go out and fuck? Oh yeah, and it's like if
There's a lot
you
of
are not,
emotion.
yeah, it's like if you are not good at communicating in a monogamous relationship, you're gonna fuck up a non-monogamous relationship because that type of relationship needs more communication, especially like when you start fucking other people, because it's like, okay, what are you doing now? Who's you don't have to know like intimate details about the person, but it's like oh, so I'm going on a date with this person or that person, whatever. Oh yeah, we had sex. Yes, I used condoms. Yes, I did this, that. Like so much more stuff goes into non-monogamy that like, and plus I think most people are shit communicators,
Oh
like
yeah,
shit,
they are.
like shit verbal communicators, because everyone wants to pretend that they're fucking Charles Xavier and go by nonverbal cues and nonverbal communication. And like, and because we've been taught that too, and there was a time when like, oh well, if you've been around me for a while, you should just know. Like, no, like there may be some things that some people can pick up on, but bitch, I'm not Jean Grey, okay? And closed mouths don't get fed. You need to talk to me. You need to tell me what it is you want, and I
Yeah,
need to tell you what it is that I want.
because
Otherwise, we're gonna have problems. And even that's something that I still try to deal with now, like just asking questions and go being more descriptive in details and things like that. It's like it's a work in progress, but I'm honest enough to admit that when it comes to verbal communication, like A lot of people are just not good at it at all, and may even feel all right with that because maybe they're like, oh, well, if I say what I really want, they'll leave. Probably, but I mean, don't be a coward.
Yeah, like tell if you don't want to be in a relationship with somebody, like, or if you want to experiment and be in a relationship with somebody, let them know. Don't be a coward and do this shit where, you know, you can't say anything because if they don't know that you don't want to be in in a relationship like that, then it's not their fault if they ask you and you say yeah sure because you don't want to be an adult and actually confront them about it.
Yeah. So, but yes, we should definitely talk about that in the middle of the week. So, thank you guys, the three viewers that we have left. Thank you for staying with us through the end. Thank you for tuning in to Foxy's end of the month wrap up with Counts.
Yo.
And we will see you guys next month or probably sooner. We'll think of something.
All right,
But
later
you
everybody.
guys have a good month. Later.
Later. All right. How did you